a new document, and we'll go from here. Remember, have your layers palette open. This is one of those important ones. And since I'm going to be tracing it, we'll do File and Place. There's my skull JPEG, and I'm going to make it a template, just like we did with the other things that you did as well. So it's on its own little layer, and we're working on layer 1. So here's the pen tool. Pen tool looks like a regular writing fountain pen. If you don't see it, there's also some other related tools that allow you to add anchor points and convert them and delete them. Everything I'm going to be doing today is just using this pen tool. First of all, zoom in to what you're working on. A lot of times I'll watch students work, they'll have it really, really small on their page and they're trying to click small details and move around. Zoom in. Get yourself a lot more room to work with when working with this. Second thing I do is I don't worry about a fill color, so I'm going to set this to none. Instead, I just want to worry about my stroke color. I just want to see the outline of it. And I'll set that to 0 when working with it. Now here's a quick overview of the pen tool. What this tool allows you to do is to click once and add points and start making your vector lines. So wherever I click, of course I can make a line. And if I want to make a curved line, I can click and drag, and you can see now it starts to curve it out. And I also get these two little handles that are associated with it. Anybody pick up on what those handles were called?
The direct selection.
Not necessarily. You use direct selection to move them. Good point though. These handles are called Bézier handles. Bézier was a French mathematician who kind of came up with the method of drawing curves, and so that's why they're called for that. But you get two of them on each side. The one on the left is controlling this curve. I've got one on the right, so if I was to click again, you can see it curves on out that way. So part of the fun, part of the practice you're doing is learning how to place your points and control the curves as you're working within your objects. And I'll kind of give you a hint. The fewer the points you have, generally the better quality image that you're going to come up with. A lot of times if you start clicking, you can get very, very detailed. A lot of people want to make a curved line doing that. Just a bunch of clicks. Instead, I can, in one click or 2 clicks, make the same curve, and it looks a whole lot better, right? Let's delete away that and we'll keep working. So if I was to click, keep clicking around, I can make any object that I want. Check out my cursor when I go back to the starting point. See the little circle that appears at the very bottom right side? That means it's going to be closed off if I click again. So now I've got one solid object. I can even fill that in really quickly. The other thing you can do with your pen tool, if I was to move my cursor on top of a line, see how it goes to a plus sign at the bottom right? There it is with the star, there's a plus sign. I can add points to whatever curve or line that I have. So now if I use my direct selection tool, I can actually move those around and reconfigure my drawing. If you don't get it right, you can always move it, change it back. Grab my pen tool again. Just as I can add points to a line by clicking on it, I can also delete points. Whoops, make sure you're right on top of the line by clicking on any point. See the minus sign? That means when I click, I can delete away those points as well. So the pen tool is pretty powerful when working with this. Here's the only thing the pen tool can't do. I can't convert a straight edge point to a curved point. To do that, I need my convert anchor point tool. And that's what this one allows you to do. Notice it's kind of like a hollow arrow. With this tool selected, now I can click on any point and drag, and this will give me my Bézier curves from there. Pretty cool? Kind of going a little bit further, with your direct selection tool, the white arrow, of course you can click and move your points. You can also click on these little handles and readjust your curve as well from there. So working together using both the pen tool, the direct selection tool, you're able to make curves and make drawings from here. So if I was to trace this, here's how I would kind of break it down. Take it one shape at a time. Now naturally these circles, don't even try to draw those. You've already got a circle tool, so go ahead and use that one. But for the pen tool, this is a little bit more complex than just a regular circle. I've got to give it a specific drawing starting point and stopping point. Like I said, a lot of students, when they first use it, they want to just do multiple straight lines. So they'll do several clicks that look like this, right? Hey, it's curving, it's kind of getting the point done, but it's too many clicks. Instead, I do what I call the clock method. And if you look on the board, I kind of got it drawn off. So you know the face of a clock. You've got 12, 3, 6, and 9, kind of the 4 quadrants of this area. Whenever I look at a shape, whatever the shape is, I try to think, okay, if a clock was sitting on that curve, where would it fit for the 12, 3, 6, and 9 point? Okay, so I've got a complex curve here. Well, I usually start off on the left-hand side. Here's my clock. So there's 9 o'clock, right? There would be my starting point. I could then curve around. My next point would be this curve, that point right there, 3 o'clock, right? Next point, here's another curve. There's 9 o'clock from there. Let me show you what it would look like on this one. So this one's a simple one. I'm going to start off at 12 o'clock. So clicking once, I've got my point right there. You can see it's really small. I'm going to turn off my guides just for now so you can see it. Starting there, where would my 3 o'clock be? If I keep going around, you tell me when to stop. Right there, good. So I'm going to click. Sorry, let me start. There we go. Right here, click and drag, and you can see I've got a line that lines up pretty close to right where that is. All right, I'm going to keep on going around. I'm going to try that again. Tell me when to stop. Stop right about there. There's that 9 o'clock position. If I was to click and drag, now it's not perfect, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to hold down my Option key. Watch this. It goes from my pin cursor to my Convert Anchor Point cursor. That's what the Option key allows me to do really quickly. I'm then going to convert this one. I'm going to click and drag. Now it's getting pretty close to where that is. I can even click on this one and kind of readjust it. All right, keep on going. So there, right there, good. Get it around. Right there, good. Drag. Right there. And finally, back up to the starting point. And I can drag off just a little bit. Again, if it's off by a little bit, hold down your Option key. I'll get my Convert Anchor, and then I can click on that Bezier point and clean it up. But you see how in just a few clicks, I was able to almost pretty accurately recreate that filled in section. And this works for almost anything that you want. Now it does take a little bit of practice knowing where things are at. Things can get more complicated. But for the most part, that's going to work out really, really well. I'm going to show you one last thing to work out. What happens if I go around and I've got a nice sharp edge? So let's try this one. I'm going to click. And so if I clicked and drag here, that's pretty good. Let's go back to, but if I keep going around, my next one should be right here, right? But this is what's going to happen. See how I've got a nice curve right there? Well, what I'd like to do is to kind of get rid of this Bezier curve. So I'm going to delete it again. I'm going to show you a cool trick. Start. I'm going to click right here and drag down. The reason why it's curving is because of this Bezier handle. Here's how to delete this Bezier handle. I'm going to click one more time right on my starting point, and it deletes that away. Now when I click, I get a straight edge, and I can get that sharp point. I don't have to worry about that one. Again, going down, click right here, off by a little bit. What do I hold down to get my Option key? And then you can drag in. And then we'll, sometimes you have to click on the end again. I've got that right there. How do I delete this one? Click on the point again. And it's simply a matter of reworking from there. So if you've got a sharp point, a quick change where it goes from here to down here, you'll just need to click on the point again, and that'll get rid of your Bezier curve. Click. Here's my just about 9 o'clock. Didn't get rid of that one, so I'm going to option that one out. and I can keep clicking and curving along here. Now, this is a little bit more complex than what the book is going to give you. The book gave you a nice sketch to work from. So if I was to redraw this one, if I started here, tell me when to stop. Right there, good. Keep going. Right there, good. If I stopped right there, maybe I need to get rid of that Bezier curve, so I'd click it again. Right there, very good. Y'all get the idea. Y'all get the point when working from that one. Any questions on using the pen tool? It's just going to take practice. If you got questions, trust me, I've gone through this before. I've done this for many of years, so I can definitely sympathize with you when you're learning to use this one. But for this bonus project, like I said, it's going to be due with the rest of them. At the end of this unit, turn it in, 5 extra bonus points on any test if you miss a question. I'm going to turn your computers back over to you and let y'all get started and keep working through this project and the next project.